All right, y'all, welcome to episode 56 of the Dickie and Donny Show, presented by Business on Purpose, where we exist to liberate business owners from chaos so you can make time for what matters most, like being on a boat on July 4th or going to the beach or being with your family. But we want you to have more time. And today we're talking about the 5Cs, BYO bring your own cocktail, bring your own koozie, bring your own, we'll see. You get that? We'll see. We'll
Cerveza.
see what the cerveza, very alcohol themed event so far today.
Well, BYOB is like bring your own beer, right?
That's right. Yes.
So I was
So
trying to
we're gonna
stay
talk.
on brand.
That's right. And so we built these BYO 5Cs at a
Speaking of
2
alcohol,
retreat.
yesterday was Father's Day.
It
So,
was.
and you
Yes.
threw
Happy
out your
Father's
back.
Day.
So I'm sure there was alcohol in your little
You know
Father's
what?
Day cocktail.
When I threw out my back, I had not yet had a drink. It was at a kid's soccer game in a camp chair. So it was
I'm proud of
proving
you
that
for
I'm a
not.
dad.
I'm proud of you for not drinking at a kid's soccer game. I have a client. She knows who she is that does not have the same story. So
So when I was in Portugal a couple of weeks ago, here we go.
that's
When I
annoying.
was in the
You can even say
Azores,
that. That's annoying.
yeah, it sounds so stupid, but I was watching my son play this soccer tournament, and they serve these little 6 or 8 ounce super box. It's like a Portuguese beer at the tournaments. So everybody stays all day to watch soccer and drinks $1.50 super box. And I may have had, I'm not kidding you, in a week, 75 super box. Maybe not 75. But you'll have like 3 or 4 a day over 5 days. What's that, 20 plus evenings? Probably 30 little 6-ounce beers, but you don't even feel them. It tastes like water.
Well, there's so many questions. I'm so happy for you. All right, BYOC. There's 5 of
C,
them. And this
BYOC.
is through the filter, and then Dickie's going to lay out kind of what these C's are, but through the filter of as you engage with AI. Correct, Dickie?
Yes, that's right.
There you go.
Yeah,
But it's through
so
the filter of AI. So yeah, what are the 5 C's? Let's talk about it.
let's talk a little bit about technology.
Ooh,
And what I shared with our team last week was that technology was designed to serve us. And in my experience, in my family's experience, I think in most people I talk to, technology has become a barrier to life. It's really become a hindrance. I mean, think about remembering passwords, coordinating all these different websites. And every time I go to a website, I got to click like 3 things to find the thing I need. I always thought technology was going to liberate us from the chaos, but in my experience, I'm actually despising it. What do you think about that?
I think it's a framework of like my mentality that's changed to where I'm starting to really enjoy technology again. But I'm not just falling in line with how it's supposed to be used kind of thing. Like, I'm gonna use it the way I want to use it, and I'm gonna use it the way I need to use it, which started with some kind of contemplative thought of around what even is it and what is it for. Now at work, there's a level where we have to engage with it, but even at home, like, it's like, oh, the kids are watching too many shows. Well, we just do no TV. Right? No, you can do it really well if you use it to serve you rather than to sedate your kids to make your life easier or whatever it is. But you're like, no, there's a real value in watching America's Funniest Home Videos with your kids because it's innocent fun and they're not watching something that's full of action-packed superheroes. And it's like, no, like it's funny to, as a family, sit around at night and laugh about a dog that's like ran into a beach ball and flew up in the air. And you're like,
Great.
so it's a little thing, but I've really actually, I feel like I've come back into love with technology because I'm like, yeah, well, I have to identify how it is going to serve me. And then I'm chase after that rather than, well, if we have a TV, I guess we got to use it. No, you don't have to. So I don't know if that
I
makes
like that.
sense, but
Totally does. Totally does. I think we get that relationship wrong, that technology is for us, not we don't exist for it. Kind of like
right.
our CPA, our bookkeeper, all of our vendors we use in our businesses, they work for us. And so the right
Mhm.
relationship is to coordinate their work to facilitate better product and work that we do. So if we
Yeah.
get that relationship right, that technology is designed to serve us and we're designed to serve our clients, we're problem solvers. And so this BYOC structure is really about solving business problems. I met with a guy today, really sharp AI mind, and he's got like a PhD or something or master's in AI. He did it before it was cool. His dad was interested
He's
in
an
it.
AI hipster.
It was like in the early 2020, 21, 22 area and before people knew about AI. And he said, our goal is the ability to affect human judgment on business problems. And I loved his framework to say, we need to be better at using our human capacity. But if we can use intelligence and automation to better make human judgments, I thought that was a pretty cool
What
one.
was that? The ability to adjust human.
The ability to affect human judgment on business problems. Pretty cool. What do you think about that?
The ability to affect human judgment on human problems.
On business problems.
Dang. Dang.
Donnie
I
no
started
sleepy.
on my note. Yeah, you're not lying. On my notebook, I like started writing that as a cool quote, kind of like one section, and now there's 4 things crossed out because I butchered it a couple times. So the ability to affect human judgment on business problems. That is what BOP does. Like, we have these business problems. We would call it chaos, which they're problems. They're lack of process, you name it, problems, and our ability to affect the human judgment. Like, hey, I'm gonna tell you, like, the amount of times that I've heard clients say, like, "God, I just didn't see it that way." The human judgment. And you're like, yeah, well now I see that the fact that we have to have the same conversation 5 times, I was annoying. I didn't know it was wrong. And you're like, no, it's not necessary. You can get better at that. And they're like, okay, so we're affecting their human judgment on the business problems. It's a lot of that. I think the guy nailed it. Your little hipster guy.
Yeah, hipster guy. Donald Miller says this: when people sense you are in the business to solve a problem, not just make money, they respect you and want to know more. I think if we focus more on solving problems and creating solutions for people and less concern about making money, now we need to have profit and structure to our businesses. But if our goal is ultimately to solve people's problems in housing or waterproofing or roofing or systems and processes, that will follow. So our BYO context, we call it the BYO method. I'm going to give you the 5 C's: content, context, creativity, concreteness, and curiosity. Just like a good Baptist preacher, I gave you the 5 C's outline ahead of time. So now you can follow really well and not fall
On
asleep during
your
our.
notes. So again, you might be like, why do we need 5 C's? If you are approaching AI and utilizing AI to affect anything personally or professionally, and you do not have these 5 C's, you are, I've said this multiple times, you are driving a moped on the interstate. If you don't have any of these, you're riding a bicycle, if not walking on the side of the interstate. But simply by approaching AI with these 5 C's, you will start to watch just like I'm working less hard on this and I'm going way further and faster.
And I would
So,
say you're biking around in circles. You don't really have a destination. Like these 5 C's are
mm,
going to get you to a directed
mm.
place in your business that's going to
So
help.
without these C's, you're walking in Converse, and with these C's, you'll be driving a Civic. So from
Civic.
Converse to Civic,
That's right. What's another great car that starts with a C
there's got to
besides
be
the
something different than Civic.
Corolla?
I like Toyotas because I drive one,
Camry.
so I guess Corolla. Camry is better than a Corolla, so Camry.
Corolla. Cruiser. PT Cruiser. That doesn't really work. A C10. Wasn't there a C10 and an S10?
There's an
I know it's
Lexus has a CX something, a CRV.
CRV. God, we're getting worse. There's no good cars that start with a C.
Is there a good brand of car? Because I said Converse. Like, is there a brand of car? Genesis
This is
kind of looks like a C.
this is in my wheelhouse. C. No. Coupe. Let's look at Rock Auto. Rock Auto.
What
Let's
in the
look at
world is
C.
Rock Auto? Chevrolet.
Chevrolet. Yeah.
How did we literally just not pay
Well, but
Chevy?
it's not a
It's a brand like Converse.
it's a brand, yeah. Chevy. I'm a Chevy guy. I'm actually a Toyota guy too, but I do appreciate a Chevy.
You know, one time I shoved my Chevy to the levee till the levee was dry. Did you know that?
No kidding.
Yeah,
No
one
kidding.
time. All right,
Could
so
write
the
a song
5
about
C's.
that.
Walk us through it, Dickie.
5 C's, content. This is your unique core values. These are your vision, your direction, your strategic plan. So what's your goal? How are you going to get there? You know, what kind of offense do you run? What kind of defense do you run? What are your goals? What are your processes? What are your products? All of your content, anything you've built in a system sense, gets inputted into a framework, either a project or a files folder, before you start asking questions. Hey, what's the best XYZ? If you haven't given it content of what you do specifically, it's going to answer generically. So that is the first one. The second one goes with it. And so I'll lump these two together. Context. So this is what industry, what size industry, what scope, what's your superpower, who's your team, what's your team structure, what's your org chart, what's your tech stack. You give it the content of everything you've created. the context of the team and how you work. And now, instead of just asking, how do I estimate this? It's estimating for a commercial roofing contractor in Charlotte, North Carolina, with
Right,
a
the
team of
content
5.
is, "Hey, I'm in this industry, I'm in here, and I'm in this location, I have this many employees." Context should be like, "Hey, we work with clients like this." Like, you can see if I were to say, "Can you create a simple masonry bidding template?"
Sure.
And you're like, "Sure, it could AI could do that." But if you're like, "Hey, I have a team of this size. This is my ideal clientele. I'm located in Ridgeland, South Carolina. I got this, and this. I've been in business for 25 years. On average, this is how much we do a year. Can you create, knowing all this, can you create a custom bidding template?"
These
It's going to
these
be
are the exactly. These are the tech
tenfold better right
we
there.
use QuickBooks, we use foundations.com as a CRM, we use this. You're giving it more
Whatever.
stability and anchors so that it's not just
Yep.
filling in gaps.
Content
Absolutely.
and context. That's like that type of stuff. So, okay. What about creativity? What's three?
So creativity, this is the human element. This is where a human comes in, where you ask the question, okay, and what else? Or you ask the question, what am I missing? You ask the question, how does this integrate with my whole system? So you're
Mm.
asking kind of a higher level question. Here's my content and context. Here's all the work we've done. Here's the people that do it. Here's how we've typically done it. What else could we do? What else could you imagine this could look like? This is such a good question to ask in coaching or in life. We typically, I mean, I see people get stuck in a pattern and in a lane. This is the way to do things. And sometimes we need to ask ourselves, is there a better way to build a mousetrap? Is there a better way to to cook this chicken, right? Smoker
Dude,
industry is just blown up recently because there's a better way to cook a chicken apparently.
that question is crucial, and the thing you need to know is that the overwhelming amount of AIs have a positivity and encouragement bias to them, where you'll like if you've engaged with Claude at all, Claude, one of the platforms we use, you'll learn where it'll be like, and
Who's
that's
Claude?
the actual, and that's the one you needed. Great work.
That's the
This is the final thing we needed to discuss before we make this decision. You're like, no, that's just a normal point. Like that will, but it's such a positive and encouragement based
yeah.
bias there that it will almost allow you to, if you want, not walk in with any creativity
It's
because you're
like the
like,
best
"Oh,
mom ever. The mom that's like, "Wow, that's the best
buddy,
idea I've ever heard.
that
I
was
bet you no one's
awesome."
ever said that before."
It's just not true.
No, not true at
And
all.
that kid's gonna grow up thinking they'll get everything they want, and they're gonna go to high school and probably still get everything they want. Then they're gonna to college, and there's a chance they still get everything they want. And then they're gonna go get a real job, and your mom's gonna email the boss saying, "Hey, so and so's not gonna make it in today. They don't feel well." And you might be laughing. That stuff happens. So, okay,
So we've got
creativity is such a good
content.
one.
Yep, content, actual material, numbers and docs. Context is the who the client is, where you stand, what you're trying to accomplish. Creativity widens the angles, opens up the options. And then here's the opposite of creativity is concreteness. So get creative, get broad. What could happen in 3 or 5 years? But then say, okay, I think we want to move this way. And you're
Mm.
asking a prompt that's direct. Can you build this with this situation and this deliverable? So you're both getting broad enough to make sure you've considered your whole system, but thoughtful enough to not just be so broad that doesn't land the plane somewhere.
Yeah, not to say, "Man, I what if instead of a pool, we swam in the ocean?" But then to just be like, "But the ocean's huge, and I don't know what to do with it." And I'll tell you this, that AI has gotten so intuitive. If you start to approach AI with this framework, this will make a lot more sense to you. If this is confusing right now, where you're like, creativity or concreteness and creative, like that, I don't get it. Like, what is there to be create? As you start to engage with it, you'll see where you're either lacking in creativity or neglecting it, and then you'll see where you're swimming in it and need to be concrete. And the value of the content and the context is if those are set up effectively enough, you're going to tell AI when to prompt you to be creative and when to prompt you to be concrete. Like, hey, Brandon, Dickie, Donnie, whatever my name is, we've been running for a while. Let's pick one of these two and hone in. Like mine will start to do that now because I love just dreaming about things. And
Yeah,
I'm so grateful because it's forcing me to be concrete because I've told it to,
yeah,
because the
yeah.
content and the context are strong enough to tell it that.
Yeah, to
So,
keep you. Yeah, absolutely. And then 5 is going to be curiosity. So ask and iterate. You don't treat this AI, this automation as a vending machine per se. but you ask the questions and it's the 10-80-10. 10% my work, 80% AI heavy lifting,
Mhm.
10% review. Never push something out that's just, oh yeah, that they created it, so might as well not review it. Always got to have this curiosity to say, what did we miss? What could do better? What could we do better? Review this iteration.
Dickie, I don't know if you've experienced this as I've engaged with these 5Cs with my clients at times. A lot of them are like, yeah, but like, I don't, but do I really need to be curious if I've done the other four? I have found it really hard to get them to go back to their childlike state of being a business owner when it was like, remember how curious you used to be about everything? And like
Mhm.
when you start, you feel like you know nothing. So you're curious about everything. And then you dabble in enough to get in chaos, bring us in. We start to remove the fog and get clarity, but one thing we don't naturally just adopt back in is the curiosity we had when we started, because there's almost a humility that's embedded within curiosity. And man,
Mhm. Totally.
this takes those first four and does something with them. Golly, I had a great example of this. Not that I did, a great example of a client to shout him out. It's an electrician here in the low country, and we were building out a proposal system using AI because they, in 25 years of business, have never done a proposal the same way twice, which is not effective, by the way. If you're like, oh, us too, that's not a good thing. So we were trying to dial in a proposal system that's more efficient, and we put as much content and context as we could in. And then he started to see it, and he's like, "Hey, I like, why don't you ask it why it did it that way?" And I'm like, "Good, there's some creativity involved." And then I was the one that brought in the concreteness to be like, "Hey, we just got to pick with something, or we're not going to go anywhere." But that dude's curiosity at the end, the amount of sharpening we created it, because I felt like we achieved what we had set out to do. We were not even halfway done because of his curiosity. And man, that final product was so much user friendly, so much more effective. So, like, oh my God, it was 10 times better because he had curiosity. It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
That's great. One of my hipster AI guy, the guy that was on the frontiers of it, he said this morning, he said, what you can do is have it create something or you've got your product. And then he said, okay, pretend you're a master's level educated, front end specialist. Now, how would you create it? Boom. Okay, now pretend you're a PhD level. And he's like, you're getting it to
Yeah.
drive further than you would have just on a
Yeah.
stock answer.
Still your
So,
curiosity, but you're leveraging it to use its own brain. Yeah. And by the way, UX stands for user experience. UI stands for user interfaces. You start to dabble with AI, those things will pop up. So, little nugget for you.
yeah. So, what are you seeing? How have you seen these look recently? Maybe for our business, and how have you seen us try to leverage a little bit more systems in our use of technology?
I feel like at BOP, we've gone from Converse to Camry. Like,
Okay,
maybe not Chevy yet, America's brand cars that start with C.
Cadillac,
Dude, Converse to Cadillac. That is
Converse to Cadillac.
way better
Bingo.
than what we've been doing. Converse to Cadillac. So that, and it's a brand, so it works. I feel like in our business, I've seen that jump where we were engaging with AI, but didn't have all the 5 Cs. I think any one of us had one of the five, but like collectively, we hadn't created a system to use the 5 Cs. I called it a system, by the way. It's not, you don't just fall into it. I don't think you drift downstream into the 5 Cs. I think you have to, AI is so intuitive. You're not going to, it's going to allow you to go to it without any of these. We were using it to kind of do one-off things with no context and no connectability, another C, to anything else. And we've adapted it to where now, if we look at item one with the 5 Cs and we look at item two with the 5 Cs, they even connect and the like C's start to use each other. We're like,
Yeah.
it will remember that you were creative about this topic. So when you start engaging in this topic, it will say, hey, do you want me to ask the same questions about this one? Yes. And then it will say, hey, we've been dancing along. Do you want to keep doing this or do you want to make a decision and move? It'll like, when I feel like we've moved into a system of using the 5 Cs, and man, the uptick in productivity, speed, and honestly joy of using it has ballooned, in my opinion.
So cool. It's so cool.
I feel like clients are
Well,
engaging in similar ways. So,
yeah, I agree. I agree. And you know what? I did share with him he was talking about a markdown file. And then he was talking about Supabase and deployments. And he looks at me and he goes, I don't know if I've ever known someone to know what those things are. Working with, he's been doing this for years with different companies. I was like, well, we try to be on the front end of it and we've done a pretty good job.
yeah, I do feel like we're trying, and our clients need to hear this. I keep reminding them, like, I do feel like we have a responsibility to them to stay ahead of stuff like this. Like when COVID hit, I mean, I think BOP is pre you and me. but BOP had like a doctor and an attorney on every day of like, hey, here's your update. This is what we're learning as a business owner. This is how you have to care for your people. And as a business owner, legally, this is what you're allowed to like. You can cut by 25% salaries if needed. But if you fire because of cut, like, we stayed ahead of it because it's a major thing and AI is that way. And I mean, when you think strategically about what we do for a living, our clients want to know what's going on in the world. And when something like AI comes into play, they're going to ask us questions.
Sure.
And I try like heck to make sure that me and the rest of our team, you include, like that we have an answer because we've at least thought about it. We may not have the answer, but hey, we've actually done a little bit of work as a team on that, and we're still unsure of where we land. That makes our clients feel so much better because they're like, at least they're thinking about it. So yeah, we try to stay up on top of it as much as we can.
In June of 2024, Beebe ran through business development and marketing, and he said, "Hey, you've been taking orders. It's been easy to do things, but you're going to have to really dig up the earth to find contracts and work in the coming years." And sure enough, 24, 25, a lot of builders, a lot of trades had a hard time growing they're like, where did all the leads go? Because, and I think he saw that. That wasn't a you or I thing. I think he saw that need for really good business development of connecting with your ideal clients, targeting, getting in front of the right people. And
Game
that's
changer.
3 examples. It was pretty cool. I like that about our work.
Yeah. The 5 Cs.
The 5
And
Cs.
then if
You've
you
got
do all 5 Cs successfully, go home, sit on a chair. That's a C. Have a little cocktail. That's a
sit on a
C.
chair with a cocktail.
Eat
I
your
may
chocolate and cheese.
chocolate and cheese.
Charcuterie.
Like the melting pot, huh? Just like a little
Cauldron,
fondue.
as I like to call it.
A cauldron of cheese. Gosh, that sounds delicious. I'm hungry.
God, I bought one of these for my wife years ago. This is like the best Christmas present that is never for your wife and always for you. Is one of those mini crock pots because it's not big enough to like cook anything. It's a tiny little crock pot. It's not
Oh,
big enough to cook anything
talk to
for
me.
anyway.
Yeah.
But you put some queso in there and leave it hot all day long. Like it's perfect for it's for me every time. We have friends over. She's like, "Do you want me to put queso in the little crock pot?"
I
Yes,
am currently researching mini crock pots on Amazon,
they're great.
and I
Super
think my
cheap.
life is going to change tomorrow when this gets delivered.
Yeah, it's great.
Check this out. Is this your guy here? This crock pot 2-quart?
Yeah, that's the size of it. I don't think ours was $25, but even that feels like a steal.
Well, should it be cheaper? Should I look for cheaper options?
Because really what it is it's just a warmer. Like, it's just like having a pot of a stove on all the time, but
Does this pot come out like I can
yeah,
clean
you
it?
can wash it and stuff, yeah.
Dude, this is in my future. Let's see. Delivered today before 5 o'clock. 5 to 10 o'clock today.
Dude, can we test this?
Okay.
Because we have a
Add to cart. I guess I
credit
shouldn't do
card
this on
info.
live
Show me your credit
live
card info.
podcast. Yeah. Oh man, my wife's gonna come home and be like, "Excuse me, what got into you at work today?"
Look,
A
look,
crock pot, a mini
go to
crock
the
pot,
next picture over. Come on,
warm setting. Oh
come
yeah.
on.
Oh, dishwasher safe.
Yeah, easy, easy cleanup.
If you're selling apartments, this is your welcome gift for every single guy that ever comes into your apartment. Just saying, you put your apartment logo on it. You're not with me?
It's sad. I'm hung up at I thought you were gonna say every resident, but you said every guy, and I guess that's because it's super easy for queso.
Yeah.
Because a guy would try to make, like, roast in one of
Oh yeah.
in one
Oh
of
yeah.
these, and they shouldn't. A girl would know you can't do that. Guys typically would be like, "Oh, I got a crock pot," and you're like,
I can do a
"No."
2-pack, bro. Look at that 2-pack. Well, here's the thing.
My
If you
favorite
guys want
rapper.
any support, a 2-pack, two 2-pack crock pot. Oh man. Yeah, I'm not going there. If you need
There's a
any
chance Crockpot would be a really good rap name for someone out there, and unfortunately, it might be
crock,
me.
2 crock,
Crockpot, man. Let it simmer.
simmer. Let that beat simmer.
Ooh,
Let that beat sizzle.
LTBS.
Nailed it. Well, we would love to have more conversation with you about the 5 Cs of your AI technology automation policy. Thank you, Matt, for joining us last week, our very own in-house AI PhD expert. And so if you want to know more about business on purpose and how we can liberate you from technological chaos, you can reach out to us at businessonpurpose.com/healthy and take a 7-minute assessment of where you are in your business processes. So until next week, Donnie, cheese it up.
Dickie.
Have a great week.